What's up, guys? Off to the gas station. The only other car I have is that really impractical race car, and it just will not start. So, off for more fuel. Which UK companies would I recommend? You know, I don't know too much about the UK market, but the big multinational tech companies, like the Googles, the Amazons, the Microsofts, they all have presence in the UK. And but getting hired at those can be pretty difficult. So a good path would be to look at the certified partners. So you could just search AWS Partner Network, GCP Partner Network, and these are partners that both resell the cloud for these big companies, and they have their own sales teams, and they also have consultants and everything like that. Do you have to have a lot of knowledge on tech? No, but I mean you'll learn a lot of it. What you do need is you do need to be curious. You do need to like learning about new technologies, and but yeah, you don't need to be a guru or have like a CS degree or anything like that. Hey, 3 years out of college working on TikTok on their sales team. What should you do long term? I mean, long term, TikTok's a great place to be at. ByteDance. I'm assuming you're on ad sales, so you know there's the whole ByteDance enterprise app side too. A little sneak peek. I might be joining you soon. We'll see. Thanks, bro. Yeah, happy to help. Subs are also live. If you guys do want to subscribe, this one's an open chat, but I'm gonna be doing like half open, half live, or half subscriber only. It's like $6. I'm trying to get to they got some goals there, but I'm gonna be doing more like these like small kind of coaching chats or whatever. It's gonna give you more one-on-one time. You can hop on video. You can do the guest requests or whatever. I do have guests. I think I have guests open. You can request to be a guest or whatever, and you can hop on video or just talk if you want. So I've been doing a few coaching calls, but I'm not a big fan of doing a lot of like one-on-one time. Just it doesn't scale. I'm all about scale, and a lot of people have like similar types of questions. You worked at a startup as account manager in TV tech, ad tech. Yeah, happy to connect. Shoot me an invite on LinkedIn. Happy to connect. LinkedIn is in my description, the whole link tree and stuff. Sales to product strategy. Yeah, you can make that. I mean, I know a lot of my former sales colleagues, not all of them stay in sales. A lot of them, I'd say like at least a third, have moved on outside of sales. They'll go into like business development, marketing, even engineering. Kind of depends on like what you find you're interested in. Because at the big companies, actually, you know, it's all about going up to the next level. So, you know, even though sales in general pays kind of like the most out of a lot of the positions, if you're a higher level in another role, you'll likely actually make even more. So you want in, where do you start? So look at my playlist, get into Tech Sales playlist, but in essence, I'm going to go through this in more detail. What you're going to do is you're going to be looking for sales development representative positions, SDR, that's something they call business development representative. You'll you want to get referrals, you need to build out your LinkedIn, and that's like the entry-level role. You don't need any prior tech experience or even a college degree or anything like that. Hitting quota but not making OTE projections. So that's weird. If you're hitting quota but not making OTE projections, something's wrong. Because unless like there's other metrics that you're being measured on, but in general, if you're hitting quota 100%, that should be what your OTE is. What kind of watch is that? It's a Vince Camuto. It's a Royal Oak homage watch. I got it from Costco. I did a video on it. It went viral. It's funny, and after it went viral, it like literally sold out. I just bought the green one too. They got the green one on sale for $50 off. You have an engineering degree already, does that help? Yeah, engineering degree helps, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, it's not needed, but definitely, you know, use it to your advantage. I have like a biomedical engineering degree, not related at all to tech, but, you know, a lot of the problem solving is relevant, and they do just like to see engineering degrees in general. For some reason, I don't question it, but for people that are asking, like, do you go back to college or not, I wouldn't recommend it. If you don't already have your college degree, it's not even about the money, it's about the time, in my opinion. 4 years is a lot of time to spend going back to college, as opposed to just like getting in at the entry level. Damn, dude, I hate gas, guys. I'm a big car guy. I have a lot of cars, bikes, but my daily driver, up until it got wrecked yesterday, was a Tesla Model X, and gas is just disgusting to deal with. I don't know about you guys. It's so sticky and smelly. AWS sharing with comp. Yeah, someone complained about my pay stub video anonymously to HR. So we had a little meeting, and they validated with me, you can talk about your own comp. It's federally protected. They fire you for that. It's a lawsuit. But of course, you know, if they don't like it, they can find some other reason to fire you. But yeah, I've shared the pay stub on there. You know, made over 500 last year. My base is just under 200. OTE, it's about like 350, and then about 75K in stock, or maybe 100. I forgot. Do you take a lot of sales training courses? Not too much anymore. I've taken a lot in the past though. Hey Tom, is enterprise AE, strategic AE the same thing? It depends. Depends on the company. So if the company has both roles, strategic AE will be covering, you know, 1 to 3 super big accounts, or accounts that have a lot of potential. Enterprise, you'll still be covering up to like 10 or 20 accounts. Oops. Let me slide this over. Let's see. Okay. Plan on sharing comp for transparency's sake. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, just be aware. I mean, some people, like the boomers, don't like it. But actually, you know what, like the big companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, they all have like these like internal spreadsheets that people share, and you're allowed to share your data. You know, they do it like anonymously. I meant to say you keep hitting KPIs but not making OTE. So I mean, that would mean that maybe, you know, the KPIs that they give you aren't, you know, they're understated, I guess. I'm not sure what the word is there. But you basically need to, don't worry about the KPIs that they set. You need to tailor it to your specific performance, your specific accounts. So like if you're an SDR, for example, I'm not sure if that's the role you're in, an SDR. So if you're an SDR and, you know, if they give you KPI for, you gotta do 30 calls a day, but then, you know, if based on your specific close and success rates, you know, if you actually need to hit 40, then, you know, that's the number you need to do. So you need the way that you want to do it is work backwards from your OTE, work backwards from your quota, and then to your specific performance. So if your quota, you know, is, I don't know, 20 meetings a month or whatever, 10 meetings a month, you know, you need to figure out like, okay, how many prospects actually convert to a meeting? And then you work backwards from, okay, well, how many calls do I have to reach out to a prospect before they actually pick up? And then you work that backwards, and that's how you take control of your performance. Glad to hear you're safe. Yeah, yesterday was rough, but yeah, feeling better for sure. Thanks. What was W2? W2 it's like your tax summary. It just means like you're a normal employee with benefits and everything. How to break in? You worked at Apple for sales, SDR, AE, or inside sales? Great question. So, I mean, if you're, the typical path is you start off as an SDR or BDR. But if you have prior sales experience, you can get in as an AE, but you'll definitely want to get referrals. Thoughts on Darktrace? They're okay. The cybersecurity space is still good. I think it's fairly recession-proof. Canada is lower than US. Yeah, Canada is definitely lower than US. Yeah, for those that, if you guys haven't subscribed, I'm going to be doing more subscriber-only lives because I get a lot of questions. So if you do subscribe, it's like, I don't know, it's like $5 a month or whatever. You'll get a little badge. You'll be able to participate in those subscriber-only lives, and I'll prioritize your questions and everything. So if I don't get to your question, my apologies. I just get so many. Think about renewal managers. It's important, yeah. So, sorry guys, got another call. I have to disable it, and it still kicks off the live. Germany's tech sale, it's solid. I mean, in general, Europe and Germany, they pay less because it's based on cost of labor. So in general, they pay less in that area than the U.S. Like I know I've had colleagues that went from, one of them went from, he was at Google, he went from Berlin to Austin, and his pay went up like 40%. Am I making President's Club this year? No, I don't think so. It's a little hard to do it at the cloud companies. Renewal managers, it's fine. It depends on if that's the type of work that you enjoy, right? So, there's less potential upside, I think. But, there's less pressure as well. Dang it, I got on the wrong elevator. The elevators are packed right now. Funny, you're working in Berlin in tech sales. Yeah. Well, you get way more benefits though, right? You get more leave. Like my colleague, sales colleague that's in Germany too. He's like always on vacation, it seems like. Gartner's, they're like a consulting advisory type company or analyst company. They don't really sell tech for the most part, but they sell data and information about tech. Do you think a former retail manager would make a good SDR AE? Potentially. It depends on what parts of the job. If you were driven by performance and metrics and so on, then I think so. Where do I see my career going? Stick at enterprise for a while? Yeah, probably. I think stick at enterprise for a while. And then I've been wanting to do my own startup. Obviously with the economy right now and VC action, it's probably not the best time to start. So I'll definitely hold off, I think, for another 2 or 3 years or something. Proposal review went well today. Oh, nice. Yeah. End of quarter's coming up, so.
Floor 17.
What do you think about the earning potential for companies like Brex and Plaid? I think they're pretty good. So there's, the fintechs have a lot of potential, although they've already had a lot of growth. So it's kind of going to depend on whether or not the economy overall slows down or not. So far, consumer spending hasn't really slowed down. It's possible to do sales from anywhere remote. Yep, but it depends on the product and the territory. So for some products and some territories, they might want you to be on site in front of customers more often. So in that case, you kind of have to be in territory. Like if you have a really small territory, like let's say like Chicago or San Francisco, and depending on the company culture, some sales managers want you to be going on site for customers like several days a week. Other ones not so much, and you could definitely do it all remote too. The entry level role, SDR, BDR, you're not traveling, so a lot of those positions are remote right now, although they're starting to go back in office, but I think that's fine. For the entry-level role, I actually think it's better to be in office because you're going to learn a lot more. It's so much easier when you're surrounded by other colleagues that are kind of like in the same boat, starting, the same type of position and everything like that. So you can bounce around ideas. Your sales manager is there. You can quickly get feedback. It makes shadowing calls that much easier. Is SDR, BDR more entry level? Usually they're both about the same. Sometimes they don't have both levels, both roles in the same company. They're interchangeable for the most part. But if they do have both, usually one of them they designate for inbound, the other one they designate for outbound, and they usually start you off at inbound because that's a bit, inbound is definitely easier than outbound. If I were to restart my career, where would you want to be an SDR right now? I would definitely say like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, for sure, especially right now in this market. Pretty much in general, if you want to get into those big companies, it's way easier to get in at the lower level and get promoted up than to come in as an external. Like the bar for an external hire is way higher. Like you can join as an SDR, and let's say at Google, and get promoted within like 2 years to a level where normally you'd have to have like 6-7 years of experience, of outside experience to get in. What kind of referrals are needed? Employee referrals. So maybe I'll do like a special live just for getting referrals, and I'll do kind of like a walkthrough on the computer. But I did a video on like how to get referrals. But yeah, so companies they'll have referrals available, and the referrals they basically kind of give your application more credibility, gets you to the top of the application stack. Series B dental sales interview. So I guess I would need to know more detail about the comp, how much equity you're getting, if any, the actual software you'd be selling. Bro, when do you actually take calls? Feels like you're chilling midday often. Yeah, I'm pretty much taking off the whole week, so that's why I usually do my lives in the evening, but this week's a bit different. But yeah, usually I do my calls between 10 a.m. Very rarely do I do my calls past 3 p.m. Any advice for last month's stretch? Book 25 demos, need 5 more for commission. Well, keep the pedal on the gas, right? If you only got 1 month left, try to hit that last 5. So, with at least like 2 weeks of buffer. How many hours a week do I work? So between everything, I'm doing this, I'm doing, the main job, I'm doing TikTok, content creation, messages, with everything, it's probably like 50 hours. How much did I make my first year? My first year, so I started off as an application engineer, like tech support, $62K. And then I got moved into sales dev at like $67K. And then I got moved into inside sales at $72. So first year of like actual sales, $67, and then it went up a lot from there. What is the reason as to why you want to be in sales? So some good reasons would be you like solving problems, you like building relationships, you're very performance driven, so you like that your pay is directly tied to your performance. Those are some good high level answers to that question. 8 years insurance sales. Should you leave the tech sales? Seems more lucrative. Yeah, I would say like definitely like the long-term career prospects are definitely higher in tech sales. From what I've seen or heard in insurance sales, it kind of like, it depends on your book of business. There aren't too many levels. You can like go start your own firm, I guess, or office, but there aren't like as many corporate levels as there are like in tech sales. So in tech sales, you're part of like these big, tech corporations. Any tips on finding a better BDR job after only working a year at SaaS startups? Only $40K base pay. So $40K base pay is definitely on the lower end, but it's not terrible. I would say try to get promoted to an AE if you can, if it's possible. If they've indicated that they're not going to promote you at all, then for sure you're gonna wanna move and use a site like RepView to see, top paying companies for sure, top rated tech sales organizations. There's a lot of them out there. So, and then for those, you definitely want to get referrals too. Good questions. So this was really just gonna be a quick live. Again, I'll be on again at 9 p.m. I got to get this. I'm gonna see if this car starts, because I got the Tesla towed yesterday, so I wanted to check up on it, but this car just won't start on me. Kind of frustrating. Only other car I have. Why do you have to leave a company to be paid? You don't need to. You don't need to leave companies. If you're at the right company and you're getting promoted, you'll actually make more money staying at the company, in my opinion. If you're at the right company, if you're at like the top tech companies and you actually move up the levels, you're better off staying. But that requires you need to have like a good supportive manager. Your performance needs to be solid. You need a few things to line up. So how many years for a quality rep to get to 200K? So again, that depends on the company. But I would say for a quality rep, if you start off as an SDR, if you're a strong SDR, you can get promoted within 12 months. In some companies, it might be closer to 24 months. And then depending on which one you're at, the next level would be SMB AE, account executive. You could be right at that 200K mark within, those 2 years or so. Thanks for the comment. Love the live streams. Yeah, I like the live streams too. It's a bit more, fluid. I'm trying to make the TikTok content a bit more polished, so obviously that takes more time, but this is a fun format for me. Jankies.info. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining. Yakshamash. Currently in real estate, security of salary looks nice these days. How would you switch over? Yeah, the security is definitely like a big benefit, right? Where, half of your pay is pretty much guaranteed. And then even then, it's very hard to hit less than, half of your quota. So realistically, you're not going to earn less than 75% of the OTE. So the way that you would get over, it depends on how much you're making, right? So if you're making well over 100K, my advice is going to be a little different than if you're making less. If you're making less than 100K, go for the SDR, BDR position. You're going to be, right at that 60 to 90K range OTE. You're going to learn a lot. It's going to position you well for the next level. If you are making significantly over 100K, you don't want to take a big pay cut, then, you're looking for the account executive position. Those are a bit more difficult to get. And with the real estate background though, you'd want to target companies that are selling tech to, in the real estate space. As key account director, are you managing existing or prospecting a net new? So both. You do both at that level. So I manage 2 accounts, and parts of the account, these are big companies. So certain divisions are fully bought in. Other ones aren't using the cloud at all. So am I into any sales podcasts? I did guest speaking sessions on a few of them. I have them queued up on my list. I'm going to make a post about, I think there was 4 sales podcasts that I was on. So I'm going to screenshot this so I remember. I'll make a post on those 4 or so podcasts, so you can check them out. Good questions. Good questions, everyone. Yep. What state do I live in? So Illinois and Texas, 2 states right now. But I do want to get property in Florida. I think Florida would be cool. And then Colorado. That's the other place. Let me see. I got to put this fuel in. I hate gas, guys. I mean, it's fun to make the noise, but it is so messy. Oh, let me just fill this up real quick. So I was driving this car on Sunday. I was really beating on it, and it did great. I took some good videos, but I don't know, it just wouldn't start today. I didn't drive it since Sunday. And I don't know if like, I noticed actually when I pulled into the gas station, like by my apartment before I parked it, and I saw that it was kind of like leaking a bit. I don't know if there was a leak in the gas tank, but I put in 2 gallons, I went to the gas station, and then I went to go get 2 more gallons, and we're still didn't start. I mean, so we'll see. Where would you recommend you go to learn more about the cloud? Currently sell voice. So look at try to get the AWS Cloud Practitioner certification and cloud, freecodecamp.org. They have an excellent 4-hour Google Cloud Practitioner review certification, whatever, free course on YouTube. It's 4 hours long. Take notes. That's literally everything that you need to know as a salesperson, in my opinion, to be knowledgeable about the cloud. It's aimed at business professionals, at executives. So check that out. I think that'll help. Transitioning into tax accounting, into tech sales. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, there's so for anyone that's transitioning who has like, let's say, significant experience in another industry, selling or whatever, if you're like 5-10 years into your career, absolutely you want to leverage that background experience. So for example, the last startup that I was at was fintech. We sold machine learning for credit underwriting. And I didn't have any prior experience in that space. I had experience selling tech and cloud, so they valued that. But so what I was going to say with that is leverage your experience, because in that company, actually, we hired a few people who came and who had extensive experience in the banking space, and that was actually super valuable because they understood what the buyer really cared about. So likewise, in your position, there's a good number of tech startups. So you'll just search like top tech startups, tax accounting, software, or whatever, build up a list of like 20 or 30 different startups that are within that space. And then you can kind of paint a very interesting picture where you can talk about your tax accounting experience, maybe talk about some of the pain points that you realized, tie those pain points directly to the software that the company that you're targeting sells. And now you have a great story in terms of like how you would actually go about selling the software, and you understand the purpose of it and the pain points that it's solving. So that's kind of like the logic you want to go through when you're making these big career transitions. Same thing with a mortgage company. Yeah, same thing. There's mortgage tech companies too. And then the insurance sales guy. Yeah, same thing. There's a good number of tech startups in the insurance space too, right? So anytime you transition, try to make it more of like not a full. You don't want to do like a full career pivot, because then you have to start from scratch. But if you can leverage your prior experiences, then it allows you to kind of make more of like a lateral move or a diagonal move. Obviously, it's not going to be a straight up move or whatever. How did I get my first tech sales job? I got mine from an internal transfer. I got in as an application engineer doing tech support, and then I shadowed different departments when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my career. I didn't consider sales at all. I thought sales was not a fun job, not desirable. And when I started shadowing, I found, hey, actually, this is pretty cool. I think I might actually enjoy this. So then I ended up doing an internal transfer at that point. Would you leave tech sales to move into project management engineering? I wouldn't go into project management, but I potentially would go into engineering. So I've done sales engineering. I enjoyed that aspect. I probably wouldn't move in as like an individual engineer or sales engineer at this point, but I would consider like a more of a management position in either of those. That's kind of like what I like about sales, is you can get technical, but you don't actually have to like get your hands dirty for the most part. You kind of like work on the fun stuff, in my opinion. So you kind of like talk big picture about, what the software does, talk about the customer's problems, their business. You get to dive deep into it, ask a lot of questions, you learn a lot, and then of course you have like a big team, to help, support you and everything. Yeah, absolutely. if you guys like the responses, if you find these helpful, click on you can click on my name and you can subscribe. I'm gonna be doing some special giveaways for the subscribers. I'm actually getting, I don't know if you've seen the grass flip-flops that I did some videos with. I love them. I'm actually talking to some manufacturers in China, and I'm going to get some custom branded tech sales version of those. I think I'm going to go with like the meme, like, go touch some grass or whatever. People say that, or go touch grass. And then you can literally be touching grass wherever. Maybe it's silly, but I've been wanting to do some sort of like apparel or whatever. I'll probably end up like selling them for like $10 a pop or something, for 10 or 15. But then, I'll be doing giveaways for those for the followers for sure. What are my working hours per day? It's about 9 to 5 or 9 to 4 for the most part. What's the average DGR comp at AWS? It varies quite a bit based on location, prior experience, based on your level. There's 2 levels that overlap for that. It could be, I think, as low as like 70K, and it could go up to like 150K. And it's total comp, so it's base, commission / bonus, stock, and then also sign-on bonus. So a few different components there. Good questions, everyone. All right, so I got this thing in. What do you guys think? Do you think it's gonna start? I'm gonna do a poll here. What do you guys think? Is it gonna start, or is this gonna just like crap out on me again, and then I'm without a car, and I haven't picked up the rental car yet because my other car got wrecked? What do you think? Is it gonna start or not? I'll do a little break so you guys can see. I don't know. I'm not feeling very optimistic. So we got the car here. Is it gonna start? Please. I've already had to fix this thing twice because I drove it too hard. Let's see. Oh no, it's not starting. Oops. Well, oops. Yeah. Oops, let me see, hold on. This is kind of annoying or weird. There's like a mirror. I forgot which way it's supposed to look. Okay. Well, it didn't start, guys, so. Rip. I'll just have to get rid of this thing. I just listed it for sale. And of course, I have like the worst luck with these cars. The Tesla, I was going to be trading it in literally like today for the Plaid, which came in. And then of course the Tesla gets T-boned. And then now I have this thing listed for sale. Just as like the car as the other car gets T-boned, now this car won't start. Try turning it off, turning it on. Yeah, I tried that a few times. Fun stuff. But anyway, I'll just have to go hang out at the pool. Damn, it just won't go. I think I sent it a little too hard last time and probably knocked a cable loose, if I had to guess. Dang it. And what's even more annoying is I left my toolbox in the frunk of the Tesla. So I don't have all my tools here. And then I'm only in a big apartment complex here, so I don't have like a big garage. The big garage is at the Austin house where it has pretty much all the tools. She got Batmobiles the next car. Yeah, I mean, I had the TRX. It was all blacked out. That one would have been a great backup, but I ended up flipping that like 3 weeks after I bought it. So, but anyway, maybe I'll let it sit. Maybe I flooded the engine. We'll see. It might start. But any other questions? I'm gonna be doing like the full live. I'll make it a little bit more structured. I'm gonna do like the first like 20 minutes as kind of like a comprehensive like or as comprehensive as I'll get on like, getting started. What does the career path look like? Maybe I'll do some like how to, network or whatever. But if you want like a really in-depth thing, I'm doing a free course partnered with Bravado. It's in my description. You can click on it. You can get on the wait list. Almost done shooting all the content. Been working on this thing for a couple months, and it's gonna be fun. I think free, of course. I'm in the B2B market, so I'm only looking to get money from sponsors, not from you guys that are trying to get in. Will I ever consider buying a supercar? Absolutely. I was very close to buying. I'm still kicking myself. Like back in September, I had a contract down to buy a Ferrari F360, or just Ferrari 360. I mean, gated 6-speed manual for $72K. I got kind of spooked because it was relatively high miles, $38K, and then of course all the values jumped, and I should have bought it. But I'm actually looking at potentially doing a Ferrari GTC for Lusso or a Ferrari FF. I would definitely do either of those. I think they're awesome cars. V12, all-wheel drive, relatively practical with the hatchback, and then of course still supercars. So, and they've depreciated a lot. Like you can get a Ferrari FF that was like fully loaded at like 360K. At one point they were down to 100. Now they're like at 150. They kind of jumped a bit. Am I into F1? I haven't followed it for like the past 2 years or so. I used to follow MotoGP a lot too. Can we talk about compensation for entry level? Yeah, entry level comp is 60 to 90K. I've been seeing some SDRs get offers of 100 and 110K OTE, but for the most part, vast majority are gonna be 60 to 90K. And then it's like a 70-30 split. So 70% of that will be base salary. And that's pretty much what it is across the board for the most part at the top companies. And you can go on repview.com to get more specific information. Best way to get in, look at my playlist. I have a Get In Tech Sales playlist that goes into detail. How much do I make on TikTok every month? So majority of what I make on TikTok is through sponsorships like Creator Fund. I don't know, Creator Fund's it's like nothing. It's like $50 a month or something like that. But from all my sponsorships and everything, I think it's like 12 to 15K a month is what I'm pulling in from TikTok. Have I heard of Mimeo? I haven't heard of Mimeo. There's like so many startups that come and go. I haven't run across that one. Great questions. These little TikTok filters are funny. But anyway. Should you be specific into what tech sales you want to get into? I would say it's good to kind of figure out, or at least pick like a niche or vertical that you want to focus on. So whether that might be fintechs, it could be cybersecurity or cloud. It definitely helps to like pick one. So that way, because there's a lot of companies out there, a lot of positions you can apply for. But if you pick one, then it allows you to narrow down your focus and your interview prep. Like if you prepare for one cybersecurity company, then a lot of the prep's gonna translate over, which just makes it easier for you. Do you know the Domain in Austin? Yeah, I used to live right across from the Domain. I used to live at the Mesa Verde Apartments, right behind National Instruments. That's where I first started working in tech and tech sales. Yeah, I know it very, very well. I was there before they even had the Whole Foods, and the Domain was just being built out. But yeah, Domain's a cool area. And then my home's in Austin. They're in Lake Travis near the Comanche Trail, in the Comanche Trail neighborhood, like near the Oasis. Best interview tips. Yeah, best interview tips. So there's 3 questions that you really need to nail down. You need to know, why are you interested in sales? Why are you interested in this company? And what about you specifically would make you a good fit for this role? So you need to nail those 3 questions. Let's get some lunch there. Yeah, I might be going down. I think I'll be in Austin for 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks after 4th of July. So I can definitely do that. Apple or Samsung? I'm an Apple guy. I've done the Android thing. I used to work at Google, but the Apple devices, they just work for me. Obviously, I'm a big video guy, so the cameras and everything I think are top notch. Minimum experience you should have. You don't need any, so high school degree, you don't need experience. There's no real specific qualifications other than having the personality traits and then being able to interview well. That's kind of what's cool with this career. Good questions. Well, I'm gonna give this one more go, one more try, and then I think I'm gonna have to go get the rental car. Who knows how long it's gonna take to get this Tesla fixed. I'm hoping they just total it out, but I've just had the worst luck with this stuff, with these cars, these Mickey Mouse cars. When am I planning to retire? I technically could retire right now. I'm tempted to. I have enough passive income. I thought about doing content creation full time. I still might, but we'll see. But for sure, what's great is I can just quit at any time and not have to worry about it with my rental properties and stuff, which is great. It definitely gives you more freedom. So if you just have an annoying work situation, then you can, you don't have to be tied down. But yeah, so I don't have a specific timing really. Rev that engine. I would if it would start. Let me see. Why do you want to retire? Burnout. So that's the thing. I guess, a little burned out, but, really it's just to have more free time, right? I have so many hobbies and other passions that I'm working on. There's so much more I want to do in real estate, with business coaching and mentoring, venture capital. So it really just comes down to the time thing. A normal W-2 job is great, especially in tech sales. I made over 500 last year. It was awesome. But you just, your whole day, Monday through Friday, you need to be available for meetings, from 9 to 4 or whatever. You have a ton of internal meetings, sometimes the reporting and dashboarding gets a little annoying, but it depends on the personality. What happened to the Tesla? It got T-boned yesterday. And I think it's totaled. So, unfortunately, I was going to trade it in. Tesla texted me that my Plaid, which I ordered, was ready for pickup, and I was going to trade that one in. And then, of course, it gets T-boned yesterday. So I have it, on my Instagram story or whatever. I posted that. As a professional basketball player trying to switch into tech sales. Hey, man, so awesome that you mentioned that. One of my partners that I work with, Shift Group, they're in my bio. Check them out. They specifically work with professional athletes that are moving into tech sales. So they're still bringing athletes on. Their hiring has slowed down a little bit, but definitely fill out the link in my bio, Shift Group, and put TechSalesTom as the referral. I'll get you prioritized. Did you have to pay a lot of taxes? Yeah, I had to pay a lot of taxes. But that's why I do these side businesses, because they allow you to, do write-offs related to them. I pretty much spend everything that I get related to TikTok and some extra. So I do extra, trips. I have all my, gear, it's $10,000 of recording gear and everything. And then, of course, with real estate, you can do a lot of write-offs too. I'm selling the cloud. Yeah, fortunately, I'm okay. My back and neck is still sore. They did X-rays and CT scan, and fortunately, they say it's just soft tissue, at least for now. But sometimes these things, it's still super sore. Sometimes these whiplash things, they take a little while to manifest. So, but it could have been a lot worse. I'm selling the cloud right now. How do you manage TikTok videos, side hustle, main job, and hit quota? So, the great thing with TikTok is, at least up until, the past, up until the end of last year, I was doing everything just recorded on my phone with the iPhone, editing in the TikTok app. So, shooting videos and editing, it's 5 or 10 minutes. I just think of these ideas, I draw them down, and then it's pretty quick to edit and shoot. So I slowed down the volume a little bit because I'm using the professional stuff now. So now it takes a little bit more time, but you have downtime, especially in certain parts of the quarter. And then I'll do stuff occasionally on the morning, on the weekend or whatever to kind of catch up. But yeah, managing that everything is a little bit of a challenge. That's where I've actually been working on prioritizing where I want to spend my time, because I think I was burning myself out a little bit because I was actually a lot more active on the Discord, super diligent about responding to DMs and everything, but then certain things started to slip, or I missed things or whatever. So this past month, and I think the next quarter is definitely going to be about me focusing in on what activities are going to be the highest return. But I really enjoy these lives. I'm definitely going to be doing more of these, especially because they're more ad hoc. Doesn't require a ton of prep or anything like that. Timeline for landing an SDR BDR role. Startups can hire pretty quick, but if you put in the effort, it's a little difficult right now because some companies have slowed down hiring. But if you're deliberate, you can land a role, I would say, within 1 to 2 months. The interview process itself for most companies, it's about, either a recruiter reaches out to you or you reach out to a recruiter. It's about a week's time to kind of do that initial interview. Then you'll do a thing with the hiring manager. Then they'll do a series of interviews. So, part of the timing is just, coordinating everything. And then, then it takes a couple days to a week to get the offer generated. So if you really want to make it the director at AWS, is it achievable? Or it's definitely achievable. You need to excel at your job. You need to, internal networking is super important if you want to get promoted up to those higher levels, right? You need to consistently show impact. You need to think about scale. You need to go beyond your role. You need to do a really good job about documenting all of your accomplishments, building strong promo docs. You can definitely do it. But I will say you need to have strong momentum, right? So if you come in and you get promoted in your first 2 years, if you can keep that up, you'll be on the right track. On the other hand, if you come in and you don't really do too much for your first couple of years, and then you start trying, then it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle because you don't have that momentum. So usually when you see the people that kind of get up to the director level, they're consistently getting promoted, going up. Just signed an offer via SDR last week. Congrats, man. That's awesome. Starting the tech sales journey. How do you start a sales call? I start by building rapport. So, you should take notes on what your customers' interests are, hobbies, if they talk about their kids or whatever. Spend the first 5 minutes or whatever, just catching up. You can talk about, if you don't have any things to talk about, you can talk about weather, you can talk about upcoming trips, upcoming holidays, relevant stuff in the media. Try not to get it political or anything. And then, so you kind of break the ice and make things a little bit, a little bit less formal or whatever. And if you do that, then it makes the prospect a little bit more, likely to talk to you or want to have follow-up conversations. So very important to build rapport. Very controversial. What's my favorite cold call opener? Oh man, haven't done too many like straight cold calls. It's been several years at this point. I'll have to think about that. Maybe I'll do a video with a couple openers. I'm gonna screenshot that. When's the course coming out? It's supposed to be, it's 5 weeks. I shot content for the first 3 weeks. I think it's mostly edited because there's a whole production team doing it. 4th week, I did half of it. I'm going to try to shoot the rest of the 4th week material probably tomorrow. And then I have 1 more week of material of scripts that I have to finish writing and shooting. So the waitlist is open. It's in the bio description, and we should be launching, I think, in about 3 weeks. And it's gonna be free. I think that the way that they're doing it is, you'll do like a small deposit, and then once you complete the course, you get it back or whatever, just to kind of keep people accountable. But it's gonna be totally free. Is there much sense in a SC to AE move? There is. So it depends. If you're the type of SC that really likes the business level conversations, then yeah, you can do well as an AE. The earning potential is higher. But if you're not very proactive, if your time management isn't that great, if you really rely on your AE to set reminders and everything, then you might struggle a little bit. Hey Alexis, how's it going? Any fintech companies to apply for sales gig coming from investment banking? So the company that I was at, Zest AI, I think they're pretty good. So they laid off like half the company during the last recession. It was just bad timing for a variety of different things for them, but they're super solid actually. I think they would enjoy someone from an investment banking background. So Zest AI. Check them out if you're interested. I can get you a referral there, even though I don't work there anymore. AE, yes, I'm a global account manager. That's the official title. Do I work with a dedicated sales enablement team? Yeah, I do. Is 50 too old to get started? No, it is not too old to get started. In fact, a lot of my peers at my level, they actually are in my 40s and 50s. Like some of them have kids in their 20s and stuff. So it's a little interesting, I guess, for me to relate. But yeah, it's definitely not too old to get started. I know reps well into their 60s. So, and it's actually at the enterprise level, it's actually preferable. I think they prefer people that are older, mostly because when you're dealing with decision makers at tech companies, right? A lot of them are older too. So it gives you it's maybe it's a little bit more relatable. Am I conscious that a huge amount of layoffs are on the horizon? Yes and no. So there's the whole competitive game theory, right? Where if everyone's talking about a recession and everyone sees the recession coming, and they're all talking about the layoffs, like, is it actually going to happen? I'm of the opinion probably not, just because it's just the way that competitive game theory works. So I wouldn't be too worried, at least at this point. What kind of cards invest in? I invest right now in graded Pokemon cards. So like the base set, first edition. I'm kind of focusing on the staples there. So a little alternative investment that I'm doing. Hey Tom, how would you make the jump from SDR to AE? 6 months in role, 150% of quota. Yeah, so the jump there, you need to work very closely with your sales manager. Tell them that you want to get promoted. Ask them specifically, what do you need to demonstrate? You need to take notes about all your accomplishments and achievements, and ask for a specific timeline. Say, hey, I want to get promoted to an AE in 12 months. What do I need to do it? So get alignment there. Make sure that's very clear. And then have, schedule yourself monthly meetings with your manager, tracking your progress. Can I expand on game theory? Yeah, so game theory is all about predicting what the other person is going to do, right? So, you can, almost like, you think about like tic-tac-toe, right? If you're thinking ahead, you're thinking like, okay, if I put this X here, where is my, opponent going to go, right? So when you think about like investing and game, like that's what these companies are, they're trying to think ahead, right? So, if they So when people think about a recession, right, when you think about investing and everything, people are thinking about two things. Like, one, when do I sell? I want to sell at the top. Two, when do you buy back in? Because if you wait too long and if you think that it's going to continue going down and you wait too long to buy in, it's going to go up, and you might end up selling at a higher point or a lower point than you're going to buy back in, right? It could bounce back pretty quickly. We saw that in the last pandemic crash. So, if everyone's talking about a recession, it's kind of no one in a true recession, you don't really see it coming, right? So, public sector is going to boom. Yeah, lots of investing in public sector. Oh, I saw one of my subscribers hopped on. I don't know if the chat showed it, but let's see. If you guys want to subscribe, it's in the you can click on the little corner there. We'll get some extra benefits. We'll be doing some giveaways there. Can you get a tech sales with political science degree? Yep, you can get a tech sales with political science degree. Great questions. I gotta cap this. This went over a bit than I expected. I was trying to get this car started, and it looks like it's not. So I'm probably gonna have to get this one towed to the shop too. Second car. But anyway, I'll be on again, I think at 9 p.m. Central. If you want to reserve your spot on the live, you can do that. Obviously, the sooner you get in, the more likely I am to get to your questions, because usually those get pretty full. I usually get like 2,000 unique viewers. So if you have any other questions, feel free to message me, and then follow, of course, and then comment on the videos. Is SLED a good market to go into for thrilling clips? I will definitely take your question as a subscriber. This will be the last question. Is SLED a good market to go into for sales? Yeah, you can absolutely ask about the patch. I think state, local, public sector, I think it's as long as the government keeps on increasing their budgets, there's a lot of technical debt. So where do you sub? So you sub by clicking on my name in the corner. They made it kind of hard to tell, but you click on my name in the corner. There should be like a little gold, whatever star. You click on it, and then you can click on it there. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing special giveaways for subscribers. I'm going to be doing subscriber only lives, where only subscribers can comment. And what that does is it kind of cuts down the volume of the comments and whatever. It kind of like makes it like more of like a personal, coaching type call, so you can ask a bunch of like follow-up questions. So I just got into the program 2 days ago. I think we have like 15 subs right now. So feel free to do that. You can do 1 month, or you can do auto renewal. You can just do 1 month and see. I don't set the price. It seems like there's only one set price for it, but they're going to be adding more features, like I think like subscriber only videos or whatever. But so far it's kind of like whatever perks. So, but again, thanks everyone. See you later this evening, 9 o'clock Central.